Dear friends, welcome to my channel Summary S. In today's lecture, we'll be talking about types of signal. If you can recall, in my previous lecture, we talked about the concept of signal. We tried to understand the concept of signal with several examples. And now in today's class, I'll be talking about different types of signals. Before proceeding further, I request you to kindly subscribe my channel so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you can get its information. So basically, signals are classified into five different categories. The first type is continuous and discrete time signals, even and odd signals, periodic and non-periodic signals, deterministic and non-deterministic signals, and energy and power signals. So because there are five types of signals, I'll be making five videos on types of signals. Today in this video, I'll be talking about continuous time and discrete time signals. So as the name itself indicates, the continuous time signals are the signals which are continuous in nature. So continuous in nature means they are continuous in time. Continuous time signals are continuous in time, which means that if I have a simple sinusoidal signal like this, okay, this is a simple sinusoidal signal which I'll take as an example to explain the concept of continuous time signals. So you can see that between any 2 points, like for example, if I say this is 0 and this is pi, and between these 2 points 0 and pi, there are infinite number of points. This means that the time is continuously changing, and because the time is continuously changing, the signal is also continuously changed. For every value of time, we have the changing or different values of signal. So t is not fixed, and it is continuously varying. It is continuously varying, and that's why it is called continuous time signal. Such type of signal which I have shown here, the sinusoidal signal, is also called continuous time continuous amplitude signal. Continuous time continuous amplitude signal. Why? Because here neither the time and neither the nor the amplitude is fixed. The time, that is t, and the amplitude can also take any value. The amplitude is not fixed. Amplitude can be any value. It can be 0, it can be 0.1, it can be 0.7, it can be 2. That will depend on the value of t. So both the time as well as amplitude, they are continuous in nature. They are not fixed. Between any two values of time, within a particular time interval, there will be infinite number of points, and that's why such signals are called continuous time signals. Similarly, now we'll be talking about discrete time signals. The discrete time signals are the signals, so as the name indicates, that here the time is discrete. The time is not continuous, the time is discrete. So in this case, if I want to plot the same sinusoidal signal in a discrete form, so the discrete time signals are the signals in which we don't take all the values of t. In fact, we take only some samples of the original signal. So instead, in spite of taking all the samples, we take only few samples of the original signal. So if I take first sample here, the second sample, as you can see, is taken here, third sample is taken here, then the fourth sample, then the fifth sample, then the sixth sample, then the seventh sample, this one, then the eighth sample, then the ninth sample, and t becomes n here and xt becomes xn here. So such type of signals are called discrete time signals, in which now you can see that n is not continuous. N is not continuous. The value of n, say it here is 0, then the value of n will be 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. So the value of n is always integer. The value of n is always integer, and that's why it is called discrete time. I hope you understood the difference between continuous time and discrete time. Continuous time, the time is continuously changing, but in discrete time signal, the time is fixed and the samples are taken at equal distances. Equal distances means after 0, 1, 1 after 1, 2 after 2, 3. So After understanding the concept of continuous time signal and discrete time signal, it is important here to understand that how discrete time signals are represented, because continuous time signals, we have already seen lot about continuous time signals. For example, if I write xt equal to t or xt equal to t square, so these can be easily plotted and they are continuous time signals. If I want to plot xt is equal to t square, I can easily plot it by substituting the values of t. So at t equal to 0, xt will be 0. At t equal to 1, xt will also be equal to 1. At t equal to 2, xt will be equal to 4. I'll get this point. At 1, I'll get this point. At t equal to 3, I'll get 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll get 9. So at t equal to 3, 3 square will be 9. So I will get something like this. This is the graph of t square. But so this is continuous time signal where all the values of the, so t is continuously changing. But the discrete time signals, as I told you, are represented as xn. So suppose I write xn is equal to n square. So in that case, if I want to plot it, so this is n and this is xn, which is equal to n square. So for n equal to 0, I will get 0. For n equal to 0, n square will also be 0. So the first point will be 0. For n equal to 1, if n is 1, n square will also be 1. If n is 2, n square will be 4. So 2, 3, 4. So it will be somewhere here. For n equal to 3, I'll get some. So 4 will be here. Then at 9, I'll be getting somewhere here. Just I'm assuming that this is the point of 9. So for 1, 2, 3, we'll get, and similarly we can calculate for 4 and 5 and so on. So it is represented like this. At 1, I am getting 1. At 2, I am getting 4. At 3, I am getting 9. This is how you plot discrete time signals. So you can see that the discrete time signals, they are not continuous. Between 1 and 2, between these 2 points, there are no points. But in continuous between 1 and 2, there are infinite number of points. That is the main difference between continuous time signals and discrete time signals. Now, how these discrete time signals are represented? So, for example, one way is to represent like this. And this signal can also be represented like this. I can simply use 2 brackets. The first value here is 0. Then the next value was 1. Next value was 4, then next value was 9. After that, 4 square will be 16 because we are plotting n square. So 4 square will be 16, 5 square will be 25 and so on. So I will use dots to show the remaining values and so on. This is how you represent discrete time signals, and we use an arrow here like this to represent the value at n equal to 0. So it is automatically understood that this is the value of n equal to, at n equal to 1. This is the value at n equal to 2. This is the value at n equal to 3. This is the value at n equal to 4 and so on. This is how discrete time signals are represented. So for example, if I write xn equal to 1, 2, 3, 5 and I make an arrow here. So it means that this is the value at n equal to 0, this is the value at n equal to 1, this is at n equal to minus 1 and this is the value at n equal to minus 2. So if I want to plot this, n equal to 0, this is n. So at 0 my amplitude is 3. At 1 my amplitude is 5, so it will be above 3. At minus 1 my amplitude is 2. And at minus 2 the amplitude is 1. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3 and this is 5. In this way we plot the discrete time signals. Arrow indicates, this arrow indicates the value of n equal to 0. And sometimes, suppose in a particular example, if arrow is not given, suppose I write 5, 3, 3, 4 and arrow is missing here. So what we do, we assume the arrow to be first position, at the first position. So if arrow is at the first position, it is not necessary to indicate it. But if arrow is somewhere in the middle or at the end, then we have to indicate it. I hope you understood the concept of discrete time signal and you are able to understand the difference between continuous time and discrete time signal. So this is end of this particular lecture. In the next lecture, I will be talking about even and odd signals. So again, I request you to subscribe the channel and thank you for attending this